for the first time since the 2003 season, the Chicago Bears will start the season at 0-2. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sports Plus Chicago. I'm your host, Jeff Blanzy. I'll be with you for the next 30 minutes, alongside the former Bear. You remember him? Number 96, Alex Brown. Say hello to Alex Brown. Yeah. And our sideline reporter with us all season long. She's out roaming somewhere. Shanon Lersch. Say hello to Shanon.
Hi, Jeff. I am going to be bringing you some great questions for Ask Alex. We're going to be putting him in the hot seat. And remember, if you want to ask Alex a question, get on our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram account at Sports Plus Show. Send in your questions now. And if you love tater tots as much as I do, stick around because we've got some Monday night specials coming up just for you. Thanks, Jeff. See you in a bit.
All right. Look forward to seeing Shanon a little later on in the show. And let's see. You brought a special guest, is that true, for the show?
Yeah, I did.
Who is it?
A buddy of mine. A buddy of mine. He was real instrumental in our 06 run to the Super Bowl. I mean, he had some huge catches. It seemed like every time we needed to have a big play on offense, he was that guy, my good buddy, Rashied Davis.
All right, Rashied Davis.
There he is. How you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Still look like you can play. Your shape. I like
my
that.
body hates you for saying that.
All right, let's get right to it. Let's talk about the game against the Arizona Cardinals with you guys. I guess right from the start, you could probably tell what was going to happen in that game with the long kick return for touchdown.
Absolutely. I mean, Johnson, just a 108-yard return means that you're not ready. I mean, with the second you let somebody go that far, I mean, your special teams didn't come out ready to play. Everybody has to come out ready to play. Honestly, we were told that the first play for defense was that special teams play, and they weren't ready to play. What do you think, Sheed?
They failed. You know, obviously, if that's your first play and you give them a touchdown,
right.
Somebody wasn't ready. You know, I was in Arizona for all of training camp, and I wasn't surprised to see David Johnson have the game that he had, especially with the kick. He's a big, fast kid. He just showcased it with that return.
Now, the final score of this game was 48-23. And I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but that was the most points given up by a Bears team in franchise history at Soldier Field.
Ouch.
Well, we used to be the monsters of the Midway.
Defense used to be a big thing there, right?
Yeah, we used to actually play defense here. I mean, I remember giving up 40 points, and it was to Peyton Manning when he was in his heyday. And my gosh, it was
the end of the world.
Yeah, it was the end of the world. It was like a black cloud was over Chicago because we actually cared, and we were driven to not have that happen again. So hopefully we see that from this group. But I mean, that was really bad.
It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good.
All right, let's talk about Jay Cutler, because obviously the big talk this week is about Jay Cutler. Now, he actually started out this game doing pretty well, right? He completed his first 8 passes, including the touchdown pass to Josh Bellamy.
The touchdown to Josh Bellamy, I mean, it was
a good corner route, good route. But Arizona messed around and dropped the coverage and left the guy wide open. He scored his first. I think he said it was his very first touchdown, right? First catch in the NFL. So cheers to him. Then Jay turned around and threw the ball to the other team for a touchdown.
Kind of gave that back.
Unfortunately, kind of gave that right back. Sorry, people.
That's true. It was good. I mean, in the beginning, I mean, you could see the offense moving the football. I mean, Jay and the offense, they kept up. I mean, the 100-yard kickoff return, it didn't get them down. I mean, it was a bad way to start off a game, but it didn't get them down. The Bears came down. They scored a touchdown, 7-7. Carson, they go back down, score 14-7. Then Jadam come right back, and they score and make it 14-14. Now, from that point, things started to get a little crazy because we didn't take advantage of turnovers like Arizona was taking advantage of turnovers.
It was very promising to see them fight back. You know, once Arizona scored, they scored. Just going back and forth. So that was promising, just like it was the week before, seeing the team not give up so easily.
Now, following the Jay Cutler pass to Josh Bellamy, Carson Palmer answered that back. Palmer was 17 of 24 for 185 yards. But the pass to Jerron Brown, what a great screen that was set up by the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, they did a very good job of setting that screen up, and Jerron Brown did a great job of catching the ball and making the guy miss, and then diving into the end zone. It was they came out aggressive, and that's an aggressive play call down in the red zone.
Absolutely, we saw this last week when Arizona played last week. I mean, you look at Carson Palmer, he goes for over 300 yards, he throws 3 touchdowns the week before. You knew they were going to come in being that they had lost their starting running back. They were going to come in, they were going to toss the ball around. And they did, and they were able to get in the end zone.
Okay, and then the second quarter starts, and you got Palmer hooking up with Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald had a big game, 8 catches, 122 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Found the youth.
Fitzgerald was unbelievable. Fitzgerald was absolutely unbelievable against the Bears.
That wasn't surprising to see Arizona come out and throw the ball that well against the Bears. They didn't play well against Green Bay. Their secondary is not making any plays. They may be around the ball, but you have to make plays in this game. Like one coach once told me, we're all on scholarship here. So you have to make some of those plays, right? And the Bears secondary hasn't shown the ability to make any plays right now. And Arizona, they want to throw the ball. It doesn't matter who they have.
And they were going up and making plays. Like Rashied said, they were going up and making big plays. Carson Palmer was giving them that opportunity to make plays. He was throwing catchable balls up there, and their receivers were going up and making those plays. It's not like they were running wide open, even on the flea flicker that they had. He wasn't running wide open. He had 3 people. Amos was there. You look at Shea McLindon, he was there. And Fuller, who bit on the run play, he actually tried to get back into that, and it just didn't work. I mean, we're talking about a crafty Hall of Fame type of receiver in Fitzgerald. So he's going to go up and make those plays if you don't make a play on the ball.
Right. All right, then with about 3 minutes to go, then disaster in the first half for the Bears. Cutler goes back to pass. He's got Martellus Bennett open. A little dump-off pass, but he throws behind Martellus Bennett.
Yep.
Tony Jefferson picks it off, takes it 26 yards for a touchdown, but more importantly than the pick and the 6 was the fact that Cutler goes out injured on that play.
You know what, last week I was on Jay's side. When he threw that pick to Matthews, I never thought he saw him. Okay, I didn't think he saw him at all. I was like, okay, you know what? Jay didn't see him, give him a reprieve on that. On this one, hey, Martellus was running wide open. I just put the ball in the right place, and he's probably still running right now. He throws an interception. That leads to him getting injured on the play, trying to make a tackle, trying to I guess, give the defense an opportunity to come on the field. He gets injured, he goes out, and then it's all downhill from there because it almost bursts your bubble when you see your starting quarterback go out of the game.
I don't necessarily give him a reprieve for last week's touchdown or interception thrown to Clay Matthews because for the reason that he stared down that receiver. I think it was Martellus Bennett he was throwing the ball to. He stared at Martellus the entire time. As a quarterback, you cannot do that. That's the reason he did not see Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews was staring at him the entire time. He just read his eyes.
Well, I'm a defensive player, so I mean, that's an offensive mind right there. That's an offensive mind right there.
As an offensive mind, thinking about the interception, well, it was given to Clay. Clay just ran and did what he believed what he saw, basically.
Yep.
This interception, I don't give him a reprieve on either, especially because he had a wide open receiver in front of him. He threw it behind him for the interception. Hopefully the injury is not that bad and he has a chance to come back. I know he's supposed to be out, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Hopefully that it's not even that long. You know, it's a hamstring injury. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, hamstring injuries, as you guys know, being former pro football players, can be, can take all season long to heal. They can be nagging all season long.
Yes.
We hope it's just a couple of weeks with Jay Cutler. What does it mean, though, to this Bears offense not to have your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback, with you for the next 2 games?
It's the next man up. You have to make plays. It doesn't matter who's there. We did it with Kyle Orton.
Yep.
In 2005, Kyle Orton came in. The offense was a little bit more simplified, and he was able to have success with the fact that we had Thomas Jones back there running the ball. They have Matt Forte, who's back there running the ball. He also can throw the ball to Matt Forte because he can catch out of the backfield. So, with that being said, I don't expect there to be much drop-off at all. I hopefully what the Bears do is limit his exposure. Limit the amount of times that he throws the ball, hand the ball off to. They have good running backs. They have Langford, they have Forte, and they have Rodgers, right?
Yep.
Use them. They can catch the ball as well. So
absolutely, I totally agree. You have to you pretty much just simplify things for that offense, and then just make Forte or that running backs by committee, make them be the vocal point of the offense. Run the offense through them, and then it's play action pass now, and then you get those receivers open. I mean, we don't have number one type receivers, especially with Alshon being hurt. I think he's a number one receiver, but with a hamstring injury or a calf injury or whatever it is, then I think he's not that guy. So you got to create space for them, and to do that, you can do that by running the football.
All right, we're going to take a short time out here on Sports+ Chicago, talk more about this game, and of course, who's up next for the Chicago Bears. That, of course, being a trip to Seattle. We'll talk more about that, and we'll talk some food. You want to know what we're talking about? Come back and join us on Sports Plus Chicago. We'll be right back.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. With 70 standard and available safety features, including options like blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, lane sense lane departure warning, and all-wheel drive. The capability you need now comes with the style and personality you want.
Visit us at BentonhausenAuto.com. Your best car buying experience starts here.
All right, welcome back to Ember's Tap House. We are in Lockport, and you're watching Sports Plus Chicago. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk with more football with Rashied Davis and Alex Brown. But first, let's go to our sideline reporter, Shanon Lersch, and she has some pretty tasty food, I think. Right, Shanon?
With Monday Night Football comes Monday Night Specials. And Ember's Tap House has some amazing Monday Night Specials. I'm here with Executive Chef Mike from Ember's Tap House, and he's going to give us the lowdown of what's different about Ember's on Monday night.
So, Shanon, every Monday night we have a wing special. Here we have our oven-baked wings, our homemade dry rub, some pickled vegetables to go along with it.
And these look really meaty, right?
Yeah, we use jumbo wings, nothing wimpy here, with our homemade barbecue sauce. So people are going absolutely crazy for our wings.
Awesome. And what do we have over here?
So with the special for every Monday night, for every order of wings, you get a free order of tater tots. And for only $3, you can load it up with beer,
don't
cheese.
Don't tell Alex about these tater tots because he's going to be jealous.
I think he's a little bit jealous right now. Yeah, definitely. So we have beer cheese, we have bacon, tomatoes, scallions, a little bit of sour cream.
They are definitely loaded. I'm going to dig into these guys.
Absolutely.
So we've got, what kind of cheese is on here?
This is our beer cheese, and we actually make our beer cheese with Blue Moon. Absolutely amazing.
You can really taste the Blue Moon in
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
That is wonderful.
Yep.
Now, what are we drinking here? I've got a Blue Moon to go with my loaded tater tots. What are you drinking?
Here I have Ember's Amber Ale, made from a local brewery, and this beer is made just for us.
All right, so cheers to Ember's Tap House on
Cheers.
Monday night. I'm going to throw it back to you, and we'll see you right after the break with Sports Plus Chicago.
All right, welcome back to Ember's Tap House in Lockport. We're talking about the Bears-Cardinals game this past Sunday. To my left is Alex Brown, number 96, and of course, the former wide receiver special teams specialist for the Bears back in the day, Rashied Davis. We'll get to these guys in just a second. I want to talk to you, Alex, first of all, all right? Let's talk about this Bears defense because there was a lot of hoopla about the Bears saying that the defense was going to be pretty good this year. So far, after 2 games, it has not been very good. In fact, they have yet to record a sack after 2 games. That's a problem.
That is a problem. I think they have to be very careful when they're talking about what's good in Chicago because we know good defense. So, and over the past couple of years, we've set records that just weren't the right records. So being better from that is where we're at right now. We're not very good. We're better against the run, which we were giving up 150 yards a pop. Every single game, it seemed like we're giving up 150 yards rushing. And now we've held Eddie Lacy and now the Arizona Cardinals to under 100 yards. So that's a good thing, okay? We've held both quarterbacks to under 200 yards passing.
2 pretty good quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and
two really good
Coleman.
quarterbacks, 2 hot quarterbacks. And so now we just got to figure out where the problem is. Where's the leak? Where's the hole? And that's getting to the quarterback. We got to force turnovers. When you get to the quarterback, you cause him to throw the ball before he wants to. We see our secondary is struggling really bad. Fuller was pulled out of this game right here for another corner. And Fuller's a #1 draft pick from a year ago. He can't be that bad. He has to. I mean, the defensive line has to help. These two go hand in hand. The secondary and the defensive line go hand in hand no matter how you look at it. They can't cover for 6 seconds, and we have to, we can't get there before 2 seconds. So they have to cover for a little bit, and we have to get there in an ample amount of time. So if they work together, which the defensive line aren't doing their part right now, by not getting sacks, you got to get sacks. You got to be able to close the deal. Then you put them in a 2nd and 18 as opposed to you get pressure. You got to be able to bring him down. You get pressure, and now you're still stuck in a 2nd and 10, and the offense still have the whole playbook to play with.
Now, one of the bright spots defensively in that game against the Arizona Cardinals came late in the first half when Jared Allen made an incredible interception.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to say it's incredible. I'm going to say absolutely phenomenal. I mean, not many guys can make that play. I've done it twice. But I'm just saying that not many guys can make that play. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Not many guys can make that play. It's an unbelievable play.
Pumping himself up, guys.
Knock the ball. You get your hands on the ball, then you're able to find it in the air. You still be able to catch make a big play interception. And when they needed it most. I mean, it's just before the half. It was a great play by Jared Allen. I think people talk about him being old, not being able to move. He showed on that play that he still got the goods.
Problem is, it just led to a field goal, and,
Yes.
and the Bears got another break, Rashied, late in that first half when the Arizona Cardinals muffed a punt. The Bears recovered it. Special teams always play key parts in games, don't they?
Yes, they do, and you have to take advantage of those opportunities. Adam Gase has been an offensive coordinator for a long time. He probably knows much more about offense than I've ever known. He's probably forgotten more about offense than I've ever known. But and so I don't want to criticize his play calling, but I would think if it were me on the other end, I would play to the strength of my team, especially with Jimmy Clausen just coming in. Him not playing, having played in many games professionally, you put him in a situation to where you're putting all the pressure on his shoulders. Relieve that pressure from his shoulders. Plus, I think there was a minute and 14 on the clock.
Yeah,
we gave him the ball back with a minute 4 or something. You know, take some of the time off the clock, bleed the clock, because you don't want to give this high-powered offense back the ball. Now, we did say earlier that they didn't give up much in the pass game, right? Well, that's partially because they gave up a lot. They had a lot of penalties. You know what I mean? Those were pass interference penalties. Those are catches. You know, that's over 200 yards. You know, we were just talking about defense, and defense covers up a multitude of sins in that respect. A defensive line, pressure, sacks covers up a multitude of sins in the secondary. But in my opinion, on the offensive side of the ball, I think we should have run the ball more in that situation and let Jimmy Clausen settle in instead of just throwing it.
On two of those, right? On those
both
two
those
plays,
two.
the muff punt and the interception by Jared Allen, 5 of those 6 plays that they ran after both of those turnovers were pass plays.
Yes.
You got Matt Forte in the backfield. I don't understand why you just pass the ball all over the place.
How demoralizing is it for a team to get those kind of turnovers deep in the opponent's territory towards the end of the first half and only come away with 2 field goals and no touchdowns? I mean, what does that do to a team as you head to the locker room?
I don't say it's demoralizing, but it does energize the other team. It's not demoralizing for you to get points, to have made those plays and get points, but it will energize the other team. We've made these huge mistakes, yet we're still on top, yet we only gave up 6 points. That's what it does when it comes to the psyche of a team, in my opinion. It doesn't really make you feel bad about getting those 3 points.
You do wish that offense would have came through, though. And speaking from a defensive player, I do wish. Like when we make a big play just before the half. Okay, we made a play inside the 20, inside the 30-yard line. We got Robbie Gould as the field goal kicker. At the point that we make that play, we got 3 points. It's a done deal. We have 3 points. Can we get in the end zone? If we get in the end zone on one of those, we have more points than we did with both of those. So I say you have to get in the end zone on at least one of those plays, one of those big-time plays.
All right, so now going forward we know Cutler's out for at least the next 2 weeks. Now they have to go to Jimmy Clausen. Do the Bears have a huge problem now at that position going against Seattle and then the Raiders?
I think so. I really do. And real quick, I really believe that they have a problem, but we'll see a better Jimmy Clausen. When you're going through the week and you're preparing for a team, the second string quarterback doesn't get much reps. So this week being the first team guy, knowing that he's going to be the guy on the field, he's going to get all the reps going into that game. Maybe Fields will get some, but he's not going to get many. The first string guy will get them. And we'll see a better Jimmy Clausen, but it's just very unfortunate for him that it's Seattle that he's going to have to go against. That is the problem. And you're looking at Richard Sherman and those guys on the other side. They've been one of the top, if not the top defense in the league for the past 3 years. It is very unfortunate, but I think he'll be better than what he looked in this past game.
But he needs Alshon back. He needs Alshon back big time.
Maybe run the ball through Forte.
They're going to have to run the ball through Forte, run it through all of the running backs they have, and limit his exposure and his really, it is limiting his exposure to that defensive line. That defensive line is a monster. There are monsters up there. And that secondary is going to be salivating because they're going to play press. They're going to be all up in their faces, and it's going to make it hard for those receivers to get off press or get off the ball, and they're going to contest everything. They get away with the most holding in the league, and they're not going to. That's not going to change this week. Right. You know what I mean? So even with Alshon, they're always holding every time.
Another big negative coming out of this loss to Arizona was the penalties. 170 yards in penalties against the Bears. That can't continue, guys.
That's another problem. For me, that is me speaking to the coaching staff. Either you're teaching it or you're allowing it to happen. Either way, it's wrong. You have to stop that. Those are mental mistakes. When I went down there, I played 8 years for the Bears, went down to the Saints, and Coach Payton actually quantified penalty yards. And every 100 yards, he equated to being 7 points on the football field. So he made it a point for us not to do that, not to give an advantage to the other team. So the 170, that's what,
you're
10
beating
points
yourself,
at least.
right? It's hard enough to
yourself.
beat the other team. Sometimes you got to beat the other team and the refs on the field, right?
Yes.
Now you're beating yourself, right?
Yes.
You have this team, they get paid, they're on scholarship, like I said earlier. They get paid, they're trying to beat your head in. Now you're helping them beat your head in.
Exactly.
It's like committing suicide.
Totally agree.
All right, we're going to take another quick break here on Sports Plus Chicago. We got a next segment coming up called Ask Alex, where you get to ask Alex Brown, and maybe a question for Rashied as well. Any question you want about the Bears, about them. We'll be back with more after this.
Any questions?
I'm good. Lease a new 2016 Fiat 500X for $189 per month. So whatever your style, find it at Bettenhausen Fiat of Tinley Park on Oak Park Avenue in Tinley Park and at BettenhausenAuto.com.
All right, welcome back to Ember's Tap House. We are in Lockport, Sports Plus Chicago. And it's time now for our segment we call Ask Alex. We go out to the audience now with our roving reporter, our sideline reporter, Shanon Lersch. Sherrie?
Thanks, Jeff. Let's put Alex in the hot seat. I am here with fan Julie. Julie, where are you from?
Crest Hill, Illinois.
Crest Hill. And what's your question for Alex today?
Got a good one for you, Alex. With Jay Cutler being injured, what are your thoughts on the Bears picking up Tim Tebow?
Oh, man. Okay, well, wow. I think we'd have to totally change the offense. I mean, I love Tim Tebow. I think he's a great guy. I don't think his game really translates a lot to the NFL. So I would say let's go with Clausen because it might get bad if Tebow's in here and they show absolutely zero respect as far as throwing the football from the quarterback position. I think they line up 10 in the box and they just stop rotating and it'd be real bad.
Surprised he said that. He's a Florida guy.
I love him. I started it off with I love him. I started him off with I love Tim Tebow.
He has a dog named Tebow.
I do.
Oh, he does?
My dog is named Tebow. I love Tebow.
All right, let's go back out to Shannon.
That's why they call it the hot seat, Alex. Right here now we have a Twitter question, and it's actually a question for Rashied. Rashied, what is life like after football?
That's a great question. It's great. I take care of my kids. I glorified taxi. I have a big Ford F-150 Raptor that just drives kids around all day. So it's been great. It's been fun trying to find the transition into what the rest of my life is going to be. But it's been a lot of fun.
Now, you also do you're involved business-wise, right? You have a business going? Tell us a little about your business.
Rashied Davis Training. I started a personal training business that specializes in teaching wide receiver skills positions, drills, as well as working with the everyday person and getting them in shape, whether you want to lose weight or build muscle and strength, things like that. I'll do speed training as well. So I do a little bit of everything.
Good. Not good. How can somebody get a hold of you?
You can look me up at rashied.davis@yahoo.com. That's my email address. Or you can find me on Twitter and Facebook at Rashied Davis Training. You can also find me on Instagram at Rashied Davis. Everything is Rashied.
Rashied Davis.
Rashied Davis. Oh, marketing,
Google
baby.
Rashied Davis. Oh, come on.
Google Rashied
All right.
Davis.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take another quick time out. We'll be back to wrap things up. We'll talk about the Bears' next opponent when we come back. Stay tuned for more Sports Plus Chicago.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. With 70 standard and available safety features, including options like blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, lane sense lane departure warning, and all-wheel drive. The capability you need now comes with the style and personality you want.
Visit us at BentonhausenAuto.com. Your best car buying experience starts here.
Hey, welcome back to Ember's Tap House in Lockport. We've only got about a minute or so to go in the show. So we're going to talk about the Bears' next opponent, the Seattle Seahawks. Very tough. Your guys' thoughts about going out there now facing Russell Wilson and the guys?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, you look at how successful they've been at home. I mean, they're 0-2. They lost a tough game to Green Bay. I think they come out with a purpose, with something to prove, and the Bears they just happen to be on the wrong railroad tracks at the wrong time. That's what I think.
I'm on the other side. I think they come out, and I don't think they win, but I do think they put up a tough fight, and they play similar to how they played against Green Bay. And I think that it's a closer game than we think.
Even with a new quarterback?
Even with a new quarterback.
Not a chance.
I'm going to believe in them.
I believe in them. I just believe that they're going to get smoked in this game. That's what I believe.
All right, let's believe that the Bears can get their first win of the season and not start 0-3 like your Bears team did back in 2003.
Back in 03, man. 0-3. Ooh.
All right, we're going to wrap things up for Alex, for Rashied, for Shanon. I'm Jeff. We'll see you next time on Sports Plus Chicago. Hopefully talking about a Bears win over Seattle. Take care, everybody.
Bear down.